What's good, Chargers fans, Bolt fam? I'm your host, Booga Peters. Welcome to BoltBlitz Uncut. If you have yet to do so, please like and subscribe to this show on YouTube and everywhere else that you can do such a thing. I'm joined by our Thursday co-host, John Kegley. He looks incredible, and I couldn't be more excited for him to be our co-host tonight, as he will be for almost every Thursday moving forward. And we're really excited to talk about some things that some of you think would be non-related to the combine, and that's why they are. Everybody's doing combine stuff, and we will talk a little bit of combine stuff. But first, John, how you feeling? How you doing? Are you ready to provide all of the Bolt fam with your Chargers Mount Rushmore?
I'm surprised to hear you call it the combine. You were calling it the underwear Olympics all day Monday.
It is the underwear Olympics, and you know it is.
It's the meaningless Olympics. That's what it is.
Ooh, even better than underwear. Of course, for those of you who are unsure, every time that we have Kegley on, and he's my favorite co-host, if we're being completely honest. Sorry, Bert. And everybody else. Sorry, Taylor. He tries to take shots at me, and he wants to make sure that he one-ups me. So the meaningless Olympics, if you watch the tape and you watch them play actual games in helmets and pads and cleats and all that fun shit, I would have to, agree with John. It's just the underwear Olympics. It is the meaningless, Olympics. Sorry.
It used to mean something back in the day when you didn't have social media and stuff like that. You're like, I want to see this guy in person. Let me see what he looks like moving around and stuff. But you have everything now. Why do we have to have a combine? You have all the info you need. You have all the computer data you need. Why do I care that a guy can run a 40-yard dash when 99% of the time he's not going to reach that top line speed because he's running 5 yards and turning left?
Right. You have the medical. You have the psychological. I mean, this is the NFL draft. It's the NFL combine. The teams, all 32 teams, literally run the entire draft class for those of you who are invited through the gambit. And listen, I like to see guys run fast, and I'm not a big fan of the underwear part, but John may be. And I'm fucking with you a little bit.
Hey, they got some beefy legs.
They got some beefy calves, some beefy thighs. They're not Booga Peters calves, because y'all know how much people have been giving me all the credit for that, because they're ridiculous.
They're all torn and everything. Every Achilles, everything.
No, the calves are incredible. The calves are incredible. It's the Achilles and the right ACL that was recently torn, but reconstructed, and we will build back better, or whatever the fuck we're supposed to say in that point. If you're just tuning in, thank you so much for doing so. I'm Booga Peters. We're going to talk Chargers Mount Rushmore. There's so many shows talking about the combine, and we will do that as well. Big shout out to Jessica Thompson. Glad to hear you're doing well. You've definitely been missed. It's nice to see you back in the comment section. Thank you so much for sharing. But John, I put you on the spot, and I made this unfair. So I think the most fair way for me to do this is for me to give my Chargers Mount Rushmore first, unless you'd like to go before me.
Nope, go ahead and go first, because yours is probably the same as almost every other Charger fans.
Oh, this is cute. All right, let's do it. For those of you who are unaware, December 8th, 1978, a great legend was born in David Booga Peters. 3 years later, a certain quarterback, formerly of NC State, Philip Rivers, was born. And then he just ended up happening to be a Chargers quarterback due to a monumental draft-changing, NFL-changing trade where Philip Rivers ended up a Charger, and then, of course, Eli Manning, because his daddy decided, Eli can't play for the Chargers. There were several people. By the way, right, for those of you who don't know, one of the people who informed the Manning family that Eli should not be a Charger, it was the father of Ryan Leaf. They spoke to the Leaf family, and Leaf, Mr. Leaf, whomever the fuck his first name is, reached out and said, no, don't go there. Whatever you do, do not go to San Diego. The clip and the quote is out there, and I'm sorry for not having it exactly, but We don't do that too much here. But give me Phillip Rivers, obviously, as my first favorite and best quarterback of the Chargers ever. And for me, it's probably regardless of what Justin Herbert does. But then, of course, LaDainian Tomlinson, not just a top 5 running back to me. I believe he's a top 3 running back. And it's ironic that I'm stealing this because I know that Kegley's going to add into this as well. Kegley has more Tomlinson jerseys than literally everybody on the planet. He has the tat. He's got all the love. He is really probably the biggest LaDainian Tomlinson fan in the entire world. And then, of course, Junior Seau, rest in peace, sir. Adore you, love you. Pleasure to be friends with Mary. Appreciate everything she does when it comes to her support for BoltBlitz. And then the recently inducted into the Hall of Fame, Antonio Gates, though he should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's my Mount Rushmore. Phillip Rivers, LaDainian Tomlinson, Junior Seau, Antonio Gates. John Kegley, now that I've talked for about 15 fucking minutes, my apologies. Your Chargers Mount Rushmore, and if I shit on your parade, my apologies.
Well, I would agree with Rivers, LT, and Seau. Different reasons. Obviously, you picked Rivers because you're a fanboy of him, so easy there. But for me, these 3 represent something. Mount Rushmore has to have like a lot of representation. Just because they're the best, it doesn't mean they represent a lot. Antonio Gates, great tight end. Greatest Charger tight end there was. But he didn't change as much as other people would. He didn't change the Chargers as much as you would think. Phillip Rivers literally single-handedly kept the Chargers alive even without Gates. With no offensive line, every receiver in the book would show up and he would still complete a pass to them. He did not run, couldn't run out of the pocket, so he had to sit behind a horrible offensive line and still complete passes, led the league in completions under pressure, had way less interceptions than Dan Fouts, and yet gets none of the credit. LaDainian Tomlinson.
0 credit.
LaDainian Tomlinson comes into a pretty bad Chargers team in 2001, becomes the leader of the team. They lose to the Raiders.
Even though Breeze was there.
They lost to the Raiders in 2001, and LT said, we're not losing to them again. And the whole time LT was on the Chargers, they did not lose another game against the Raiders. 2008, the team's 4-8. LT calls a players-only meeting. The team goes on to win the last 4 games and win the AFC West Championship and go to the playoffs and beat the Colts in overtime. And part of that speech with the players-only meeting was, we're not the Raiders, we don't give up. Junior Seau.
On this show.
Junior Seau comes to a Chargers team that is sucking. Dan Fouts is retired a few years before this. Junior Seau comes in, is the leader. He's everything for this team. The 94 Chargers are not that great of a team. Sue me, I don't care. They weren't that great of a team, but that team wanted it. If you get a bunch of guys that want it, because you got a leader like Seau leading them, you're going to win games if you want it more. You don't have to be the most talented. You just have to want it more. The only thing is the 49ers just happen to be the most talented thing you've ever seen in your life. And it ran out.
Sure. I can rattle off every player on that team. Before you keep going, I want to make something very clear. Thank you to everybody who's tuning in to BoltBlitz Uncut. I'm your host, Booga Peters, joined by host John Kegley. He is here every Thursday, and I couldn't be more happy that he's our co-host and our host on Thursdays. Nobody who paid attention to football would have expected that 94 Chargers team ended up in the Super Bowl. It was a bad roster, if we're being completely honest. There was a lot of weird shit going on. But that being said, you had the tough guy at quarterback. You had the Army commander, if you will, in the head coach in Bobby Ross. You had different pieces all over the place that made that team special. Junior Seau, of course, as John mentioned. They didn't belong in the Super Bowl, but what did they do? They got there anyway. And what John touched on is it was so important that everybody bought in to wherever the fuck that Bobby Ross was selling for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. But David Griggs, RIP. There are so many, and then goddamn, John will be able to rattle these off better. But that team
I don't even think Griggs was on that team. Didn't he leave for the Dolphins the year they went to the Super Bowl?
Oh God, he might have. I'm sorry if I did bring him up, and that's not what we're trying to do here. Preach Chucky Brewer. Oh, it's nice to see Chucky here, man. He's a Facebook pal. And then, hey, Hugo. Man, come on now. Y'all, thank you so much for showing up. Correct me now. Give me more 94 Chargers who were there. Don't give me Dennis Gibson.
Stanley Richard, former Longhorn. Rodney Harrison. Natron Means, Ronnie Harmon, Eric Bieniemy, Tony Martin, Mark Say, Sean Jefferson.
Pupanu.
Alfred Papuno. Stan Humphries with Gail Gilbert as the backup QB, whose son ended up playing quarterback for the Texas Longhorns a few years ago.
Gilbert played in that Super Bowl, by the way.
And threw an interception to Deion Sanders.
Yeah, and then Ronnie Harmon tried to brag to him during that game, and it was very depressing.
And then Andre Coleman, 98-yard touchdown return. We can go on forever on this stuff, but moving on to the last member of the Mount Rushmore is not going to be one that you would normally hear, but when the Chargers first started out, they were in the AFL Championship almost every year from 60 to 65. I think they missed it in 60, but 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, they all made it to the AFL Championship. They have one ring. The Chargers, they say Chargers don't have a ring. They have one. Not a Super Bowl ring.
63.
It's not a Super Bowl ring because the Super Bowl didn't start till 66. But they lost the other 4 AFL championships to the Oilers twice and to the Bills twice. But 63, they beat the Patriots 51-10. And the guy who led a lot of those teams to the AFL championship and to that victory, Keith Lincoln, former running back, number 22, who had over 206 yards, he had exactly 206 yards rushing on 13 carries and caught 7 passes for even more yards. That dude had
carries.
Yeah, 13 carries. He had 7. He caught 7 passes for like 123 yards as well. Like the dude had, remember when Darren Sproles against the Colts set like he almost broke the all-purpose yards record? Yeah. He broke Keith Lincoln's record that day. And the Chargers won that game 51-10 with Lincoln as the MVP. And that right there was the heart and soul of the Chargers starting out. And then when all those guys left, the Earl Fisons and all those guys left, they were shit until Dan Fouts came to town.
Earl Faison is what he meant by that, but he couldn't.
I'm bad at names. You know this.
Yeah, no. Listen, I'll tell you right now. One of the reasons why it was. I mean, of course, Kegley's a friend of mine, a very long term friend of mine. But one of the reasons why he's a Thursday co-host is he is literally, in my opinion, the best, without a doubt, Chargers historian when it comes to really recounting what happened. John wasn't alive in 1965, but he's done so much homework forever. I mean, this is a guy who used to skip meals, eat ramen so that he could jog or sprint, if you will, because he sprinted a lot of times to Qualcomm Stadium to make sure that he was there to watch the Chargers in person. If you do not have an appreciation for my co-host, John Kegley, that is on you. That is 1,000% on you. I could not appreciate him more, but that being said, I do need to do a better job of picking up the phone, and I will do so, sir. Let's talk. We've given our Mount Rushmores. Most underrated, most unsung Chargers of all time, players that stick out to you that when you look across social media, you don't see them getting any love. Anybody you want to bring up for sure?
Well, for a short topic part of it, because I can think of like 5, but I'll bring up one guy that I think never gets the credit. The first ever Chargers touchdown, a preseason game. The first ever kickoff to happen for a Charger game. Paul Lowe returns it 105 yards for a touchdown. Paul Lowe was a great running back. He doesn't get all the credit because he doesn't have the flashy numbers, because back then you didn't play for 20 years because you didn't have millions of dollars to take care of your body. You didn't get to take games off. You didn't have all these trainers that take care of you. These guys beat each other up to death for the love of the game. So he didn't play as long. He didn't have the flashy stats, but that dude could run, and he scored the first ever touchdown in Chargers history. Yeah, it's a preseason game, but he scored it.
I think that's worth mentioning, and that's cool because for those of you who are unaware, we try to cater to the entire audience when it comes to BoltBlitz Uncut. We've been doing BoltBlitz shit since 2010. In case we were babies back then, we were really trying to figure shit out. But if there's anybody that I could have on this show to give us the best old information, so to speak, and the historical information, it's John Kegley, the historian of BoltBlitz. John, keep going. Who else is there? Are there other players that when you look at how the rest of the league has viewed them as a whole, that you're like, that's another Charger that really deserves some credit? I would like to provide one, and I think it's Gil Bird. I think Gil Bird's the best Chargers cornerback in Chargers history. Would you disagree? And is there anybody else you'd like to add to the fold?
No, that's easily, arguably, easily the best cornerback in Chargers history. I mean, you can talk about maybe like, I'm bad at pronouncing his name, Joe Bunchchamp, something like that. I'm bad at pronouncing names, but you know who I'm talking about.
I got you.
But Gilbert played when guys were a little bit more athletic and the passing game was really more evolved. So I would give it to him. But what about Marion Butts, the guy who the Chargers were 0-4 in 1992, and they go off to go 11-1 the rest of the season, make the playoffs to win the AFC Championship, AFC West Championship. I think he deserves credit because he was a power horse on that team for that season.
Listen, I wrote a paper on this cat back in the day in school. Marion Butts, as his former Florida State coach called him, he is John Dillinger in headgear. He was mean. He was aggressive. The year that Kegley's talking about, Marion Butts rushed for 1,225 yards, made the Pro Bowl. I wore number 35 in track because of Marion Butts. That was my dude. He was a guy, it wasn't just a highly respected thing. It was just, I knew a little more about football back then than most people did. And I believe that he was an incredibly underrated NFL running back. And he was a pleasure to have as a Charger. Really hard and really difficult to see him as a Patriot, by the way. That shit sucked. I was very angry. It really hurt my feelings. I was really sad. That's back when it just started. That's when free agency was going on. You know, we all got, well, for those of you who are subscribed to Sports Illustrated, we all got for those of you who did, the episode where it was the paper doll looking version of Reggie White, and it was Cleveland, it was Green Bay, and it was all these different teams he would go to. And he obviously went to Green Bay. But man, that's when the NFL kind of caught my eye, even as a young man, going, "Oh shit, man, this really is a business." Now my fucking pops have been screaming about that forever, and we're in 2026, and it's not just a business; it's only a business. We just prefer to view it as a game. Big shout out to Chucky Brewer. Love this show, gents. Hey, that's a shout out to you, John. Thank you so much for being a co-host on Thursdays. And then Donnie Cummings, man. Listen, if you guys do not know about Donnie Cummings and everything he does for the Chargers and the fan base, one of my favorites, one of the best to ever do it.
Can I give a shout out to Donnie real quick?
Yeah, please do.
So one thing I've noticed since the Chargers moved to LA is a lot of the fan base has turned into look at my tailgate. Like it hasn't even become about the Chargers anymore. But Donnie makes it about the Chargers and he tries to take care of the fans. If you haven't had a chance to meet Donnie, he is a great dude, Army veteran. If you have the opportunity, go hang out at a Bolt Pride tailgate and you actually get along with Charger fans. You'll have your best tailgate experience and your best Charger game experience.
Well, you got me. And I'll tell you something right now. John thinks he's fucking tricky trying to get me because he knows me a lot better than most of the audience does. And I'll tell you right now, Donnie will always, and I mean always, be one of my favorites because it's not just that he's tuned in, but he was a guy back in the Qualcomm days when, shit was weird and maybe I was a little tipsy. But I could always kind of resort to him, give him a squeeze, and he just kind of redirected me and make sure that I was kind of the right path. Donnie is what I believe to be one of the best things about the Swoop and tailgate, and I hope to see him and of course his beautiful wife Debbie do everything they want to do. I think you're one of my favorite couples I've ever been around.
Debbie's awesome.
I know.
Oh, weird story, actually. I went to Supercross this past weekend, and they happened to be there. I didn't get to see them, but they took a photo on Facebook, and I was like, no, they're here too. I could have seen them.
I didn't see you, but I saw that you were there. I mean, oh, man. Hey, you already saw, obviously, I'm assuming, the shout-out from Donnie. Thanks, brother. Hoo-ah! Let's go.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We're trying to build a fan base here at BoltBlitz Uncut. If you have yet to tune in and this is your first time, please hit that like and subscribe button. We have a very set schedule when it comes to our hosts. I'm here all the time. I'm sorry I drink too much, but y'all put up with me for whatever reason. Mondays, we have Bert Grossman, former Chargers defensive lineman. Tuesdays, we have open windows, and then we're trying to work on making that happen. Wednesdays, it's, of course, Taylor Bloom, our producer. Love you so much, girl. You're incredible. And she also is our Wednesday co-host. Thursdays, excuse me, there's a burp on air again. That's 4 and 2 shows. John Kegley. As much as I embarrass him. And then Fridays, we kind of leave it a little bit open. But we kind of fuck around with that shit too. And then Saturdays and Sundays, we do some shit when it comes to the combine, especially this week. I know, my bad. No, don't be apologizing. Don't do that. We do not apologize here. No, we maintain the fact that we're Chargers fans, and then we just have a goddamn good time because that's what we do on BoltBlitz Uncut. John, let's move on to the next one. And this is a difficult conversation for Chargers fans. I think, maybe I'm wrong, but I would have met. Oh, that's awesome. Chris, I cannot pronounce your last name right. You're Ribino. Help me out. But anyway, I'm going to move on in this sense. Would you resign Keenan Allen? #Slayer. Does he make sense in a Mike McDaniel offense? And is there anything that you believe that makes him a must resign, depending on the signing contract and the money, of course?
The must sign part is he has the chemistry with Herbert. He still has that quick off the line, can get you a quick first down on third down. He could do any of that kind of stuff still. But he's at the end of the line of his career right now, so he's not exactly the fastest. And Mike McDaniel's offense needs speed, a lot of it. And Keenan could probably have a spot on the roster if he's willing to take some pay cut because, like I said, he's at the end of his career. He doesn't have the right to call how much money he wants. If you want a lot of money, go to a team that sucks so bad they'll give you the money because they're desperate to sell jerseys. But on this team, McDaniels wants catch in space and run. Keenan Allen, if he catches in space, he falls down on purpose. And I don't think he fits. But with the chemistry he has with Herbert, I'd be willing to keep him on the team on like the third or fourth receiver on the team. But it also depends on what you have. Because if you can get something faster, whether it's the draft or free agency, if you can get George Pickens, okay, let Keenan go. But if you can't get anything faster, you're just going to be stuck with a bunch of wide receiver 3s and 4s. You got to keep Keenan one more time because the main goal is that offensive line.
Yeah, hey, hold on. And what I love about this is we have what I believe is a perfect conglomeration of the actual comment section and then what John just said. If Keenan is in a position to, I don't know if it's take a team-friendly deal, but it's something that makes sense, he's still third in Keenan. But
incentive base.
Fair. I also want to piggyback off of what Jessica said too. Keenan Allen is not just one of the best route runners out there. He's a top 3 route runner of all time. Give me Chad Johnson, and I mean this, Keenan Allen, and then Jerry Rice, and we can argue about the rest. I don't think that there are better route runners out there. Amari Cooper has an argument, and nobody wants to hear that because he's a former Raider. Stevie Johnson, a little time with the Bills and the Raiders. My top 5 route runners are easy because I studied those guys, and I have a little bit of a get off when I'm healthy and not 47 years old. to where I study their moves, and Keenan is one of those guys that everybody, literally the entire league, every slot wide out, every wide receiver has tried to replicate and do what Keenan does. For the right price, Keenan makes a little bit of sense to me. That being said, Willie. That, by the way, Willie Shaw is actually David Shaw, but he's got a couple of accounts because he's just trying to make sure that we get all the love we deserve. I appreciate you, Shaw. You're the man. Really appreciate you, man. Charlie Joyner before them. Yeah, Charlie was an incredible route runner. So was JJ. If we're going to go that far back, we're going to talk about Wes Chandler too. God damn it.
And Gary Garrison. Like, are we going to talk about the whole team?
I mean, we could. God damn it. I love that you brought him up. Let's go back to Donnie because he's here. Would you ever consider, and John, we're going to sling this over to you. Would you ever consider on Mike Evans? I don't believe that Tampa Bay is going to let him go, but that 6'5", very solid route runner, but he's not going to burn anybody. Your thoughts on having another, or at least one, in this Chargers offense, the only jump ball receiver, if you were to try to make a move on Mike Evans, but boy, he's going to be expensive, huh?
If I'm going for anybody expensive, the only one I want in free agency is George Pickens. Fast, also has good route running, has great hands, and Herbert can throw him open. Like, if you just toss it out there a little bit 10 yards farther than you should, he'll still catch up to it. He'll dive with one hand and catch it. Mike Evans has had some injuries. He's on the lower part of his career. First time not getting 1,000 yards in a season. And he's a jump ball receiver. We need fast. Fast. If you're not going to have a fast receiver on this team, then you're not playing into Mike McDaniel's strength. It's like having the Marty Schottenheimer Marty ball and all your running backs suck.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to celebrate everything you do and say, but I'm telling you right now, if you guys are not prepared for the type of speed that this Chargers offense demands as far as filling the needs with a Mike McDaniel offense, you're just not getting it. This is a different scheme. You're going to see cheat motion. You're going to see jet motion. You're going to see sky motion. You're going to see a lot of motion, and it's going to take a lot of really fast guys. This is not a Trey. Oh, people are going to hate this. It's not a Trey Harris offense. He's just, Miss. He's the jump ball guy, maybe. Sure, and I hope he can be that. But let me see some guys like Zachariah Branch out of Georgia. Let me see a Brennan Thompson from Mississippi State. Let me see these actual burners get put in place to do what they need to do in a Mike McDaniel offense. And I'm going to set you up right here. And we didn't talk about this pre-show, John, but I've had this in my notes, so I owe you this. Any thoughts on former Dolphin, former Chief, current wife beater, and horrible human, Tyreek Hill being a Charger? Now that Mike McDaniel's an offensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Chargers.
If you want to hire a guy who has no leg left because it got totally detached and is going to be injury prone, we might as well just hire Dave Peters. You get the same thing. Thanks, he's fast and full of injuries. It's the same thing. No, you don't need him. I don't care if he comes out and he looks really good in rehab or whatever. Once you get an injury like that, you're bound to get that again, and he's strictly a speed guy. All you got to do is play against one team that hits hard, and that leg's probably doing it again. Like, the Dolphins didn't treat Tyreek Hill really well in that offense. Let's just be real. He got set up to some pretty bad situations, including getting that leg tackle. The Chiefs set him up way better. You got to do what the Chiefs did with Tyreek Hill, and we're not going to be able to do that with that injury. He's not going to have that speed, catch in space kind of thing. The Chiefs used to just say, hey, if he runs over here, we'll throw it there. And you're like, there's nobody there. And here comes Tyreek, bam, catches the ball. He's gone.
Run everybody.
And the Dolphins tried to do other stuff where it's like, hey, run this hook route, and eventually we'll set you up for that deep route. And it's like, yeah, after he got beat up a bunch of times, now he's slow and worn out and bruised up. Like, it didn't work out well, especially with Tua, who can't throw that far. Herbert can, but it's a little too late for Tyreek.
So I think that John, of course, really nailed it. And I want to point out to John right now, we don't normally have a concurrent visibility like we do right now. I really do believe it's because Kegley's here. You know, I'm really excited that he's going to continue to do this with us. If you have yet to do so, make sure that you give him a little shout out. I know y'all are in the comments. Make sure you let John know that he's welcome and we really love him here. He's one of the best friends I've had in a very long time. And well, I don't want to say he is my best friend because they all die. For those of you who are not tuned in, all the best friends die. So Kegley is just a friend for now. But I'll tell you right now, if you're not paying attention to what he has to offer when it comes to the NFL, it's only because he doesn't want to give it to you. And we look forward to him doing so much more regarding that when it comes to BoltBlitz Uncut. Sounds like
I have too much knowledge. I have too much knowledge to give it all to you. I could sit here and be like, "Oh, hey, the first ever Charger game down 20-7, and they come back and win 21-20." Like, okay, cool. Like that's just the tip of the iceberg.
And yet people are still here because they just want to make sure that they have a chance to hear what you have to say next. I hope that that's important to you. It's important to me, and you make this show better. And I really can't do better than I am right now in telling you that I really appreciate everything that you provide for this show. What I'm going to do now is you brought it up, and I'm really pissed at you for doing it, if I'm being completely honest. Alohi Gilman, a future Charger?
Well, Charger fans know this. The Chargers are going to Charger, and there's always something that upsets us. And I was like, Alohi Gilman's a free agent. It would be so Chargers to re-sign him after like, hey, we finally got rid of him. And then, bam, there he goes. Alohi Gilman's a Charger again. Joey Bosa, a Charger again.
Oh, don't do that to Chargers fans. So, hold on. You said
we lose Khalil Mack, but you got Joey Bosa back. I made it rhyme. You see that? I should drop a mixtape.
You would be great. I'm sure I can help
you. You can call me Slim Fady.
I would call you Slim Whitey, or Thinny, or actually you're not.
I mean, you live in Michigan. That's the whitest place ever.
Yeah, I mean it's up there, man. I don't choose our governor.
No, and people.
It's perfect. It's perfect. It's literally perfect. Yeah, listen.
Look at your clothes. That's a good example. You're all white. The flags are white. Yeah, you just proven me right.
He is not broken. I play in literally what is not a people who look like me YMCA basketball league. They just have a better tan than me. So I we'll say it because Bert makes this joke about the Section 8 background. We got the flags going. I hope that's a little bit better.
But those flags are sideways, like your sideways personality. So that's all I see. The flags represent you. You got to make them come down.
I'm going to say so much, but I'm not. So I'll segue into this. When I heal up, I'll give y'all. Oh, I know. Hugo's like, damn, John come from war. I know he does. He tries to defeat me. And the good news is on this show, I'm just happy to have him here. I want him to think he wins all of the time. And I look forward to every single time.
I always win because, like, you couldn't even mention Leon Little Train James or James Brooks on the most unappreciated Chargers, the underrated Chargers. You didn't mention Leon Little Train James, and I left it open for you because you're small like him and you wore 26.
Yeah, he wouldn't even know that if I didn't tell him.
James Brooks, who also wore 26 and caught the touchdown to send the game into overtime in Miracle Miami. For the Bengals, he wore 26.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say he didn't with the Chargers, but nice switch up. This guy, what I love about Kegley is, especially in this moment, and I'm not going to get radical or crazy here, but you do not want to listen to shows where everybody agrees with everybody all of the time. Kegley is incredible at making sure I don't know if it's holds me accountable, or he just kind of makes sure that he has a contrarian opinion. But I will say this, if you do not agree with me that he is one of the best to do it, you're wrong.
I always win. Just the quicker you learn that, the better it is, Booga.
Man,
I always win.
There's nothing that John
I'm not the Chargers. I don't choke when it matters.
There's nothing that John could beat me at. But that being said, well, I don't know. You're probably a better shot with Bissell than I am. I'm pretty good though. This is fun. We still have the same number of viewers while we're arguing too, so that's really cool. So let's continue to argue. What was your favorite BoltBlitz event and why?
God,
And
I don't know.
say what you could say what you said pre-show about the people who disappointed you while that happened.
Yeah, I don't know because there's a guy who named Ryan Russell that destroyed a lot of those events with being alcoholic and getting in people's faces and stuff, always making this himself center attention. If anytime you go to an event that someone that you know is hosting, please don't make a fool out of yourself. Control yourself. But I remember one time we went to this like bar that was like, I can't remember, it was like near I want to say it was near Chula Vista, near the beach. And Thomas Booga goes, I'm gonna come around here and I'm gonna give a high five to everybody. And Thomas goes, keep your hands low, low five. He's short.
It's so shitty. It's so shitty. I just posted that. I just reposted that video today. It was not in an effort to keep things short. I made sure hold on. Let me redirect this shit, motherfucker, and don't be unfair. We were doing an event. God damn it. I think it was Lucky Bastard Saloon.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Is it? So anyway, we were working with the Alliance of Hope, which was something that was run by Patty Pickford, and then of course, to some degree, endorsed by Eric Weddle. And we can talk all the way about this. And the deal was it was about high fives for Hope, and the reason that I worked with Eric Weddle was to help raise funds to dispute and help anybody who was a victim, all the women that were victims of domestic violence. I don't think that people understand what BoltBlitz has always been about. We really tried to help everybody. Rancho Bernardo Humane Society, San Diego.
Kegley. You know what? Actually, my favorite one was Kegley. I just remember that was a Bolt. I forgot that was a BoltBlitz event. I remember the event. I forgot that was a BoltBlitz event when Kegley was trying to recover from cancer, and we had a Christmas for him, and we all brought him gifts at the stadium. And then you guys took him to the practice facility, and he got the signed ball and everything too.
We did everything. You know what? I'll tell you right now, and thank you so much, John, for bringing that up. Achilles, Kegley, if you will. We had the hashtag Kegley Strong. Everybody changed their profile pictures to Kegley. And John, thank you so much for bringing that up. God damn it, you're a great co-host, and you really helped me out so much. I'm so glad to have you as a part of this situation. That was not my idea. Yeah, did I help facilitate it? But that was a Thomas Powell thing. R.I.P. I love you, man. God, if you knew how much I miss you, dude. Oh, the best co-host I've ever had, and it sucks. I miss you. I love you. In the decision that he made regarding what sorry. The decision. Sorry. The decision that he made for us to, dude, give me a break. You know I'm emotional.
This is why I always win.
You don't ever win. But I need everyone to know that when he made that decision, it was very easy to follow through with. Jimmy Sardellis. Of course, I believe it's Valerie as well. And then Amanda, too. Amanda is the mother of Kegley. I can't tell you guys how welcoming they were to us. Yeah, we had Elmo and Santa and everybody else show up. It was really cool. We all met in the Qualcomm parking lot. And when I tell you, it wasn't quite hundreds of gifts, but I'm telling you, we gave a brain cancer patient just short of 200 gifts. And by the way, for anybody who's trying to keep track, or maybe they care just because it's important, Kegley is still alive. He's in high school. He's playing sports. He's doing academic things. Kegley's an incredible human being, as we all expected.
Hell yeah, that is awesome to hear.
Valerie, I'm telling you right now, respectfully and spiritually, on part of Thomas Powell, nobody, including myself, nobody was ready to make that happen except for Thomas Powell. I didn't fight against him when
We
it
gotta
came.
get Kegley on the show, man.
Yeah, we'll
It's gotta
see.
be. That's gotta be. What is it? Fan Thursday that you do, right?
We can do whatever day for him.
Or Fan
Kegley,
Friday? I mean, sorry.
mostly blind. He does walk with a walking stick. He's one of the most incredible human beings you're ever gonna come across. We at BoltBlitz, and I feel confidently speaking on behalf of Thomas. We're very proud in the fact that he's still going, and we hope that we gave him that great Christmas. And I already know that we did. So I hope that we stay continuing to find ways to enrich the lives of others. It's just we're trying to figure ourselves out and get our feet wet. Do not think that we won't do more things like that in the future. I just want to make sure that posthumously we recognize Thomas Powell, because I miss him and I love him, and I don't know. I miss him a lot. I'm glad to have John Kegley here as my co-host here on Thursday nights on BoltBlitz. Tom loved John, and when I say loved, it was of course I wanted to get John to the stadium because he made the scene better at Qualcomm, but Tom always made sure that everybody tried to get a ride and we could figure it out. I didn't get it, and I do now, and I have for years. But Tom always made sure that we hooked up Hugo. We hooked up Ryan Russell, whom was brought up earlier. We hooked up anybody we could who might drink too much or just might not be in a situation to get to the stadium or the event or the whatever it was. We really did try our best. It didn't always work, and sometimes we had to escort people out of the building. But BoltBlitz is just it's a different situation than people expect, and it's always been that way, and it's going to continue to be that way.
Oh, when other Chargers shows would break into the show to steal the thunder.
Yeah, people steal headlines and all the shit, and they claim things.
Like we had Ladarius Green that one time at Tilted Kill, I think it was.
Yeah, we actually had him at. I think you're going to have to help me here. I don't know the name of it. It was a Fox Sports thing near the Hilton.
No, I think that was at Tilted Kill, I think, if I remember correctly.
No. We were outside of Fox Sports something in Hotel Row, or where the fuck that's called. I'm sorry.
Oh, Hotel Circle?
Yeah. We were at the Fox. It's not there anymore. We were there, and then we had Ladarius Green as our guest, and then his agent literally messaged me after the event saying, I'm not sure Ladarius is all there. And then about 5 games later, he got knocked in the head. And then we were against the Patriots. Everyone who paid attention or saw
the 2014 game.
Yeah. So that's when I was
when
out.
Daryl Stuckey got the fumble return for a touchdown.
And that is why he is the BoltBlitz historian. Hey, we're not trying to get too morose and sad and all this shit, but what we do on BoltBlitz is we really do try to tell the truth at all times. Sure, we have a lot of conjecture and opinions that a lot of people don't agree with, but as far as people agreeing with our opinions, we truly do not give a fuck. We're not here for people to agree with us. We try to tell the truth. We really try to make sure that people understand that we're the one show that really, it's not in an effort to set you straight, but it's really to give you some insight as to what is really going on. And yeah, I have
like you say in the military, if the Army wanted you to have feelings, they would have issued them to you.
And we're not in the issuing of feelings phase here at BoltBlitz, but Kegley, man, John Kegley, let me make that very clear. Not just one of my best friends, but again, he's the Chargers historian on BoltBlitz Uncut. Not just for a good reason, because he just knows more than you fuckers. Just believe that. It doesn't matter how old you are. He was literally recounting Woodrow Lowe and incredibly Keith Lincoln weird shit. Like, he just really did a lot of things that he's going to continue to do on that show. And I hope that some of the old heads, my fellow old heads out there, can appreciate what he's providing. while we do that, as we sign off, John, please tell everybody where they can find you, as long as you're not afraid and you don't want to hide.
Please come after me. When I was on the other show, I came out when we were playing the Bengals in 2018. And everybody's like, oh yeah, we're gonna win like 42-0, 42-7. And I'm like, well, if you look at the previous matchups against the Bengals, we've won most of those games by one possession, including the year that we lost to a 3-win Bengals team when we needed to win to make it in 2010. And week 16, we lose to the Bengals like 34-23, something like that. The 3-win Bengals eliminated us from playoff contention. And so I come out and I'm like, I think it's going to be 27-21 Chargers. And I'm getting hate mail, everything, saying that I'm just negative. And then I go to the game. I took a photo with the scoreboard just to prove you all fuckers that I'm right. And the score was 26-21 Chargers.
We are not afraid to brag here.
No, we're not. But before I tell where to find me, Booga talked about how we do things in the community. I volunteer a lot. I'm actually currently volunteering at a bakery, small town. I love supporting small town businesses. And this place called Urban Bakery has their own senior dog sanctuary called WH Pletch Sanctuary. And I can post a link on my profiles if you want, but I would like if anyone would like to donate to help them. They're trying to build up the sanctuary more. They take dogs that are like, they've had bad lives, they're about to get put down or whatever at a pound, and they take them and they give them new lives. I've gotten to meet a lot of the dogs, and they're loving life now after they've had such shitty lives prior. If you'd like to donate, I can post a link.
Hey, hold up. You have a link somewhere that we can put out there? Do you mind putting it?
I absolutely do. I make their menus for the bakery every single morning, and I put their logo and links on there so people can see it. So I have plenty of links.
Well, please be sure to let us know and get that out there to. I have the hiccups. I'm so sorry. Give that to as many people as possible. We'll put it. Yeah, there's a hiccup. We'll put that out there on the BoltBlitz Uncut. What am I supposed to do? Like, we're live.
So I'll have a meme ready later.
Television.
I'll have a meme later.
Oh, Jesus Christ! And by the way, his memes are incredible. There's a hiccup. I'm trying.
My name is Booga Peters.
So, as we sign off this evening, my name is Booga Peters. Thank you so much for tuning in to BoltBlitz Uncut. It is a pleasure of mine, of course, to have my guy, John Kegley, be my co-host every Thursday. I'll tell you right now, and I've said it enough during this show, if you're not paying attention to what John Kegley has to say when it comes to the Chargers, you're losing out, because he knows more than you do, especially when it comes to Chargers history. But I'll also add in, if you're bored and you really like lightning, like real lightning in a keg on the Facebook page, John, tell everybody where they can find your storm chasing shit, because it's important.
Facebook is just lightning in a keg. I have a TikTok, which I'm trying to really get going because it gets more views. It would just be lightning in a keg with a period in between each word. And then Twitter is just lightning keg, because it wouldn't let me put the rest of them. What does that say?
He was telling me to drink pickle juice to get rid of the hiccups. I got it. I drank enough.
Oh, you need pickle juice to get rid of your cramps, Booga, the old guy cramps.
Oh, God,
but
there's nothing that can get rid of my cramps. I'll tell you.
Those are the only 3 places I have so far that have the storm chasing page. But I post it on my own page, John Kegley, on Facebook all the time. After I post it, I share it on there.
Hey, hold on. Before we let John go, and we're going to do that here in just a second, I really want to point out this comment from Hugo. Thank you, Booga and John. It was nice hanging out and looking back on some BoltBlitz events back then in San Diego. Listen, and Hugo, I hope you're comfortable with me saying this. Hugo is in a wheelchair, and we always, when I was in San Diego, of course, which has been a long time, of course, but we got him to everything, because it's not just that he's a great fan of BoltBlitz. He's one of the best and biggest Chargers fans of all time, supporting no matter what is going on in the front office, the head coaching space, nor the roster. Hugo is one of my favorite and will always be one of my favorite Chargers. Hugo, thank you for putting that out there, man. I really appreciate that. That matters to me. And then, of course, Jessica's laughing at Donnie because Donnie is saying, how many kids said, let's go outside and play Navy?
None.
I know y'all were taking shots at each other in the military, and it's weird for me.
Okay. Army, because no one played Navy as a kid. And Army, because even Marines need heroes.
Man, I was raised by a Vietnam vet, a Marine, so it was a different fucking.
There must have been crayons everywhere around your house.
Oh, there were no crayons. Just ask.
That's because you ate them all. You walked into that one. See, I always win.
No, we didn't eat anything there very often. Just ass whoopings. I did. My sister did not. But I'm proud to say that I ate all of those ass whoopings. Mostly at like between 1 and 3 a.m. when he came back from the VFW. This has been a very incredible, if you will, 51 minutes and plus of BoltBlitz Uncut. John Kegley, I couldn't thank you more. I look forward to every Thursday with you because you do what needs to be done and you tell the truth. I hope that everybody who's listened tonight will look forward to more of truth telling. And listen, if you don't think we're going to cover the combine and the draft, I'm about to get weird. I'm about to be covering this shit the entire time. I need a couple of days because my knee is not good. It's not. The ACL surgery is all right. It's just not going great. So we're going to figure that out. We got a weird amount.
Old.
I'm incredibly old and broken down and say what you want and make fun of me. I can handle it all. If you have not been prepared for that, I can tell you for sure. This has been literally probably my most fun version of BoltBlitz Uncut. I cannot thank you enough. John Kegley and everybody else in the comments, man, it matters a lot. And he's hook 'em horns. My father would have loved that. Former Texas walk-on running back, 4 touchdowns in a walk-on game, and then just gave up. I guess he had to go to Vietnam or some bullshit. I don't know the whole story. But this has been BoltBlitz Uncut. This is, again, one of my favorite episodes. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will get back to everybody personally. Thank you so much for your time. If you have yet to like and subscribe, please do so. And if you have yet to follow John on Twitter, find a way to do it. It's like a weird version of biggest Charger fan ever. I don't know how to explain it, and neither can he. You know how to find me everywhere on social media at Booga Peters, BOOGA PETERS. Thank you all for tuning in. This has been a great night. I don't appreciate you guys enough, but I hope that I can tomorrow.